Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is actually my first video that I've filmed on my new channel. This is technically a return to YouTube for me. Hoping that I can keep it up, so please subscribe so I can keep motivated to film videos for you guys. The category of videos that I probably will be filming on this channel is more likely luxury videos. I may drop in a little bit of beauty, but for now, I'm just going to focus on luxury. Okay, so let's get into today's unboxing video. Okay, so as you guys know by the title, this is going to be a Dior unboxing of the new saddle bag. It's just actually arrived today. I haven't actually unboxed it, so it is genuinely a true unboxing, but I have actually seen this bag in person. So let's open it up, see if I can hold it up for you guys. Now, this bag I actually purchased through my regular personal shopper, and she's become a friend to me, really. Her name is Elena, and she is on Instagram. Her Instagram is Bags Shoes Addicted. I will put her link down below to her Instagram. So the reason I went with her is two things basically. One, this bag is on waitlist only in Australia, and you have to actually put down a deposit to get the bag, and then you could be waiting 2 months or more for the bag. And the other reason that it was beneficial for me to get it from her was that I actually saved a little bit of money. I saved about $100, so I'll get into the retail prices very soon. Here we are. I'm going to put down this box so it's not a mission and a half. How exciting. I was like, this is the first time I've seen it too, so. Here we go. As you can see, it's the Oblique Navy Canvas. I am filming on my Google Pixel 2, so I hope the quality is okay for you guys. I've tried to do my best with lighting. I sold my old equipment before when I knew I wasn't going to film for a long time. So working on a phone camera right now. Oh, what's that? Okay, here it is. This is the medium saddle bag. This is in the Oblique Canvas in navy. So there is there's actually more colors now. They've come out with a Bordeaux. I think in America they've got some exclusive ones like khaki. And now they've also got, obviously, they had the leathers already when they came out, but now they've got white as well. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of options. Now into the retail price. Because I'm in Australia, I'll give you the retail price in Australia. It's $3,900. I paid about $3,800. And the retail price in euro, I believe, is €2,200. Bit of a backstory as to why I ended up buying this bag. I'm a believer in the pre-loved market. I prefer to shop pre-loved wherever I can. And I actually ended up buying a vintage Dior saddle bag in the Trotter print. Okay, I am back. I had to take a short break to change poopy nappy and put my kid back to bed. Now, this bag, so I'd actually already seen this in store. I did a side-by-side comparison with the vintage saddle bag that I had actually at the time. And I will run you through some things that I noticed that really kind of sold me on this bag, other than the fact that it's sort of been pushed in my face on social media, and we all know that we've been victim to that before, and I fell victim to it, but I will talk about later why I don't feel that I made the wrong choice. Okay, now one of the things that I really noticed on this bag was this depth, or not this depth, this length. The length here is actually much longer on the new bag than what it is on the old bag. So you end up with an extra almost 3 centimeters more of length to the bag with this butt thing here. I think that's what I'm going to call it today, the butt of the bag. And then you've also got a wider bag as well compared to the vintage one. So the vintage one is a lot more narrow here, and you're gaining around about 1.5 to 2 centimeters more of depth. Now, that being said, on the vintage one, because it was that bit shorter here, and it actually had a button closure on the vintage one, this one doesn't, and since this is bigger, this easily fits my phone in it. On the vintage one, I actually struggled to fit my phone in the bag. I couldn't even, it would fit in, but it would sort of be sticking out a bit, and I really couldn't take advantage of the snap closure on the vintage one. And my phone isn't even an XL or a plus size, it's just a normal size Google Pixel 2. So now on this one, it easily fits in with no problem. Okay, some other things to talk about is the hardware. The hardware on the new saddle bag is actually like a brushed gold and antiqued sort of gold, whereas on the vintage ones, you would either get a very bright gold or you would get a palladium hardware, silver hardware. So another thing to talk about is actually the oblique canvas on this. So yeah, it's called the oblique, whereas the vintage one is called the Trotter. And you actually notice that on this, the Dior print is more pronounced. It's got more shading to it. There is a vintage version that has a very similar oblique print to it. However, I've been told by my sales associate that the oblique print on the older ones is different than on this. So this is apparently a lot more durable, a lot more detail to it. And what else can we talk about? Oh, the awesome thing is the magnetic closure. On the vintage one, it's actually a Velcro closure, so I found that really annoying trying to close the bag. You'd have to line it up just to get the Velcro down, whereas on this, open it up, put your stuff in, yada yada, close it, closes it on its own. So on the inside of the new one is canvas lined, whereas the old one's got like a polyester sort of lining to it, which I suppose isn't a bad thing because on the polyester might be a bit easier to wipe down. But this just feels like that whole canvas effect to the bag and it being canvas on the inside, it just makes it feel a bit more luxurious, more detail to how it was made, and perhaps more sort of kind of on par with the price that you're sort of paying. You're getting these extra features with the bag. Some extra features with the bag. I think that's all I can sort of say. Oh, the dimensions as well I checked is 26 centimeters across, 22 centimeters down this way, 15 centimeters on the narrowest part, and about 9.5 centimeters in the depth. I didn't measure my vintage one before I sold it, but I can say for sure that it was smaller on here, came to around about there, and the depth wasn't as deep as well. But the actual width on the vintage medium one is the same as this as well. Okay, now this bag, the downfall is that you can only sort of wear it on the shoulder, or you can carry it just in the crook of your arm. I'll put some mod shots in if I can at the end of the video or as I'm talking. Of course, one of the big selling points is actually buying a strap for the bag, which I did, but I didn't buy it from Dior directly. I actually bought it from Vestiaire Collective, and I saved maybe, I think it would have worked out to be about $1,000 off the retail price, because I just, for me, I couldn't justify having spent this, having bought this, and then going and then buying a strap at full price. And I bought this one, which is like a boho sort of style strap. It's got like the dangling tassel thing. So I believe it will go. I will put some mod shots of me wearing this strap. I can say now that the strap isn't really, it's not exactly crossbody friendly. If you are short like me, I'm only 5'2". I believe I can get away with it wearing a crossbody. It'll sit slightly higher up, but I like that. I prefer a crossbody to sit higher up than to sit on my hip because it's harder to get in and out of the bag. And then it'll still be versatile and work on the shoulder. So if you're a petite girl, I believe those straps are a really good investment. But I've seen bloggers that are quite tall and models wearing that strap crossbody and it looks great on them. So, but then you've also got to take into account a lot of those women are really quite thin, you know, they're small sized women. So like that way. So you've got to take that into account as well when you're purchasing this sort of strap. The other alternative is to just get a generic strap. I do have a generic one as well, and it's adjustable, and you can buy them on like Amazon, eBay and whatnot, and they're under like, you know, they're under $50. So that's another alternative as well. We are now getting to the end of the video, so I feel like I may have rambled too much. I don't know, I'll find out when I'm editing how much hard work I have. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about at the end of this video to wrap it up is perhaps one of the controversial points about this bag is why should you buy this versus the vintage saddle bag? And I can't really answer that question per se about why you shouldn't buy this versus the vintage saddle bag. because I feel like the vintage saddlebag has a lot to offer, especially in the leather ones as well, and you're going to be saving a lot of money. But one of the things that I can say about the biggest reluctancy that people are having with this bag is the price point and the fact that they think it's a trend bag. And I see where they're coming from, because this bag came out in the year 2000, and you've seen it on Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City, and you've seen it on Paris Hilton, and then the bag were still, you know, progressively was popular between 2000 and then 2006. You'd see it in all the celebrities and whatnot. And then in about 2007, the popularity started to wane and people were sort of getting over it bags. Now, so that bag had, let's say, about 7 years of a good run when it first came out, the saddlebag. So people are reluctant to buy based on that, and I get that, because that seven years is still not a bad time for a bag to have a run. And one of the reasons that it got discontinued as well was because John Galliano, however you say it, he had some rant in 2011 and he ended up leaving Dior, and that was his design. So from what I understand is that they kind of phased out the saddlebag because it was his design and they wanted to reinvent Dior with their new designer and whatnot. So Dior's current designer, Maria Grazia, I'm not even going to try, I'm just going to call her Maria because I can't speak French, I can't speak Italian, so I'll just butcher it. But she brought back the saddlebag in this year, 2018, and she brought it back from the archives because she noticed that, I think it was 2016, Beyonce was featured carrying her bag, or it might have been 2014, but she was carrying a vintage saddlebag, and then I think it was a K-pop star was carrying a saddlebag as well, and she noticed that the whole vintage wave and bringing back old bags was becoming fashionable. So she jumped onto that, and she jumped onto the fact that Logomania is back in at the moment, has been going strong for a good year. She brought it back, noticing all that, which isn't a bad thing. Now, bearing that in mind, it still begs to answer the question, is this bag going to be a good investment compared to the run that it had before when it got discontinued? And my answer is yes, I still feel that it is, because it's come back. It was there before and it's come back. And we all know in fashion, everything comes back around. So this bag, if it loses some popularity, it's still going to come back around. But I think what people are forgetting as well when they have that hesitation with this bag is social media is in play now. Back in the 2000s, we didn't have social media. Back then, I was using a Nokia 5110 as my phone. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have Facebook or anything like that. Now we have Facebook, now we have Instagram, now we have Snapchat. We have all these things to push products in our face and keep products relevant. And then you have bloggers as well, like the influencers that are carrying these products that make us want it. So this is a big factor versus back then. Back then it was just celebrities on magazines and in TV shows that would be featured, that would, you know, keep the bag relevant, being featured with the bag. Now it's the everyday person that can be featured with the bag when they upload their photos to social media. That including myself. I have a social media account, I upload pictures on Instagram. These things keep something relevant. So as long as people are still taking photographs of their bags, sharing their collections, this bag will not drop off the face of the earth like it did last time, sort of thing. So that is my argument to you. Think about that. We have social media now. I don't think this is going to be a dated product, and it might seem trendy at the moment, but I don't feel in the long run that it's just going to be simply a trend bag. Before I go, I wanted to show you the other thing I did get Elena to buy from me, and it is, I think you can probably tell by the box. I'm just going to get right into it so I can finish up this video. She got me the Dior friendship bracelets because they're not available in Sydney. Unfortunately, the merchandising team didn't get them, so here they are. Okay guys, that's a wrap. I hope this video was informative on the Dior saddlebag, and if you have any questions, put them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you very much for watching again, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!